Hey guys, this is Jenny with Edie's Attic. I was out gardening yesterday. I had a lot of work to do behind my house. I have a long garden that goes across the back of my home that over the winter and the spring, with all the rain that we have had, just became completely covered from one end to the other with weeds. I think I have 5 plants in this garden spaced out, but you couldn't see them. They were taken over by weeds. So a few weeks ago I started weeding, and I think I made it halfway through, maybe 75% the way through my garden, and I left it alone for a little while because I got busy. I had, end of school year activities, someone was graduating, So it's been a goal of mine to get outside and to finish gardening like all week, and yesterday I did it. So when I came out to garden, where I had already weeded started having new sprouts. So I had to kind of start from the beginning. It wasn't as bad, but I had to start over again. And what I noticed, I came up with like this analogy, this like relation, is some of the weeds, the roots were super long. And not only did they like go under the soil, they spread through the soil, and it was like pulling a cord and not knowing where the end would be, and took a lot more work than I expected. What I had done a few weeks ago was surface level. It just took care of what was exposed. You couldn't see it no more. But when I went back through and did it again, I was more careful, precise, really took my time, and I had to pull the roots out from where they began to make sure that they wouldn't sprout up again and strangle and destroy my plants. I started thinking about how, in my mind, I connected it with inner shadow work, and how much stuff that we work on daily to improve ourselves, to heal from certain things that have happened, to revisit things that we hold deep within our hearts and to face head on and deal with, and how we often can seem like we took care of the problem, but if we don't take our time and really get down to the root of the problem, for the time being, it'll seem like it's gone, and it looks pretty, and it feels good, like everything has been cleaned and smoothed away, and that problem no longer exists. But then a few weeks go by, and you start having little sprouts of thoughts in regards to that issue, or you start realizing that the issue goes way deeper than you thought, so then you have to pull it out again. I just thought, wow. So the analogy here is, when it comes to shadow work and healing and growth, we do really have to dig real deep, down to the root and the nature of the issues that we are facing. Because if we just face it and deal with it on a surface level and cover it up and mask it and throw some mulch on top or some stone and pretend like it's not there, there's always that chance that it's going to resurface, and we're going to have to tackle it again. But this time, now, we have to move away all the mulch or all the stone, uproot flowers, move them into a new location, because the growth of the weeds are so bad and there's so much that needs to be dug up that we have to literally excavate our entire garden. It's the same with us. Some of the things that we hold in our hearts go so deep. And I'm also getting that we can also take breaks if we have to. So yesterday when I was gardening, my area got hit with some heavy storms. So I started for about 2 hours, and then I had to quickly wrap everything up and go inside and take a minute and wait for the storm to pass, clear up, dry up a little bit, and then go back out and continue. And then another storm came through, but I did get the work done in between the storms. So there's like some kind of like call for us to also not feel like we have to rush it, not feel like we have to get it all done in one swoop, in one like sitting. But when we do the work, we have to put the best effort into taking our time with each spot and really getting down to the root and removing it completely, because we don't want to have to keep backtracking. One more thing that I noticed was how the weeds that I had in my garden that were so overgrown were moving in and wrapping around and like actually smothering and strangling my plants to where my plants were not growing. They weren't thriving. They were not flourishing. They were dying. But the weeds weren't. The weeds were just taking over. This is our show. This is our spot. We're coming in, and unless you get rid of us, we are taking over, and we're going to grow, and we're going to spread over the boundaries, and we're going to spread out to everything that's around the barrier, and we're just going to keep growing until someone stops us. It's the same with our shadows and those things that we avoid, that we hold so deep in our hearts that we still have to face. If we don't do our personal housekeeping and maintenance of those things, they take over. They grow through us. They wrap themselves around our heart. They wrap themselves around our brain. They wrap themselves and smother our energy and our essence, our soul. Those are things that we carry around with us like baggage, like a burden. So I was just like blown away though, how sometimes I don't ask to have these analogies or channeled messages, but it's always when I'm in the middle of doing something very physical or creative, and I'm just living my life and doing something very random where I'm in silence and I'm just really focused on the activity, that things just kind of come to me. So that's another thing. I feel like Spirit wants you to become, again, I always say this in so many of my videos, more present. You spend too much time in your own head and your own thoughts and, contemplating or worrying or pre-planning and adjusting and all that. And sometimes getting moving and being physical and being present and like clearing the mind space will open you up to receiving information about you and your journey alone that you need to focus on. It'll just come to you very naturally. So, I don't know. I thought it was an interesting analogy. It really did kind of help me see it differently and see it more clearly, and how we are those beautiful flowers. And the weeds are the stuff that we have to face, deal with, and remove. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought it made sense to me, and it clicked. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna just share it with this group. Maybe it'll click. Maybe it makes sense. But anyways, I hope it helped, and have a great day.